guess what happened today on July 21st? It was another night of the G1 CLIMAX 33. That's right, night 5 happened today, and that means that your boy, MrWarrenHayes, is back once again to break it all down with you, to have another, continue on my continuing coverage. That's a lot of continuing of the entire G1 Classic affair. And listen, if you want a spoiler right now as to what I thought of the show, here we go. This was great. This was a fantastic night of professional wrestling and the best show of the tournament so far, in a tournament which I'm into. It's got its hooks in me. I'm into it. I think overall things have been good. And there's, just enough great stuff peppered throughout to be interested. Like, I remember last year doing this coverage, and we were into night 5, and the doldrums had already set themselves in. We were scratching our heads wondering what the hell is going on. But now I'm pulling at my hair, I'm tugging at my hair out of excitement, because we got another classic match tonight. We had a top to bottom fantastic card outside of maybe one stinkeroo, but everything else on this card, good to excellent. We're going to get into it. And we're going to get into it fairly quickly too, because this is coming out later in the day, a little later than what I would have liked. And we all want to move on, so we all got stuff to do. So I'm gonna get this out of the way. Like, subscribe, reviews, ratings. You all know that junk. All right. I'm giving you a pass this time if you forget. But this, man, holy smokes! This show started off with some Block B action. Correct? Is that right? Yes. Block B action. YOSHI-HASHI defeated Tanga Loa. Wait a minute. I'm breaking up my own rhythm here. I'm breaking everything up. Shouldn't be doing that. Let's start by giving you the results. Block A saw Gabriel Kidd defeat Red Narita. Chase Owens defeat Hikuleo. Shota Umino and Kaito Kiyomiya went to a time limit draw. And SANADA defeated Yota Tsuji. As for Block B, YOSHI-HASHI defeated Tanga Loa. Great-O-Khan defeated El Phantasmo. Will Ospreay defeated KENTA. And Kazuchika Okada defeated Taichi. So, now we can get into it. Block B opens up with YOSHI-HASHI versus defeating Tanga Loa. They tried to finish this real fast, and I was sort of into it because I am not into Tanga Loa matches so far in this tournament. But it doesn't, so I'm like, oh. And then Tanga Loa gets a bit of an uninspired heat segment control period. I didn't know exactly how you'd refer it to, as I should say, but we get the headhunter by YOSHI-HASHI, the jackhammer by Tanga Loa. We're getting stuff happening. They chop each other, and then when they start chopping the hell out of each other, we get some fighting spirit here, and then it starts ruling. Then we're getting into an environment where things start to rule. Get a dragon suplex by YOSHI-HASHI, and it's been really good at this point. Once we hit the 10-minute mark and we get a spear by Loa, I'm like, you know what? This has been pretty good. This has been pretty good. Diving headbutt by Tanga Loa, his knee struggling to carry him around. This has been the story of his tournament, and this is how it's going to go for him, right? And YOSHI-HASHI crawls onto his back, his upper back, hits another crucifix bomb for the win, second time in a row that he uses it and that it's good for him. And look, honestly, this opener was much better than it needed to be. And this is a 12-minute Tanga Loa match that you will absolutely be entertained by. And I'm the first surprise. But look, here we go again with YOSHI-HASHI being the common denominator here, where he's been having solid matches throughout. And this was very good. Hard-hitting fight. YOSHI-HASHI pulls a good one out of Tanga Loa. I don't know what to tell you. This was more than just your garden variety opener. This was very good. Very good. Then we go over to A block where Gabe Kidd defeated Ren Narita. Now Narita came out first, but he's been watching tape. He's not gonna get suckered like the schmucks before him on the previous two nights. No. He knows Gabe Kidd is coming after him with the chair before the entrance, and that's exactly what happened. So Narita, though, is ready for the sneak attack. They trade suplexes. They do the suplex tumble spot to the floor, and it was rough, but in a good way, you know, like a good, solid tumble. Narita sends Kidd over the barricade. Once we get back into the ring, Kidd exposes the turnbuckle steel and rams Narita into it. We get some huge chops by Gabriel Kidd, which turn into a chop fest by both fellows, and their chests burst red. And it was, yeah, especially Narita. I found he ate it particularly because, look, you know, it takes a while. Let's put it this way: it takes a while for Narita's chops to get the stank kids have. Holy shit. Gabe Kidd was just wailing on him. We get a half hatch with a bridge by Ren Narita and a knee bar, who rolls into that cloverleaf thing that he does. Gabriel Kidd, how does he respond? He gets out of it and he lands and he hits a short arm slap right on the face. Get a German with bridge by Ren Narita. And Kidd kicks out at 1. Huge strike by Gabriel Kidd after. He covers Narita, who kicks out at 1. He lands, Narita locks in the Cobra Twist, but we get a blind low blow by Gabriel Kidd and a pile driver for the win. So Gabe Kidd up at with 4 points now. This was hard hitting. This was hard hitting, a slugfest, and a great show of fire by Gabriel Kidd. Not that he didn't have any in his previous matches, but it felt focused, if that makes sense. As opposed where the first 2 nights he was, the war dog, just running around and doing all sorts of shit. And now he felt like he channeled that anger, that rage, whatever you want to call it, and turned it into something pretty good. Definitely his best match of the tournament so far. And Ren Narita was right there. You know, I'm a little surprised because I was really thinking that Ren Narita was a guy, like among the Musketeers, he was going to be a guy who would benefit the most from getting some heavy-handed wins because, look, Shota Umino is just, he's getting himself over by his star power, his presence, and it's the same thing with Tsuji. We're going to talk about Yota Tsuji again a little later on, but, I find Narita, as far as from a presentation perspective, he's got 2 strikes against him. He needs every help he can get, all the help he can get, and I thought that a really strong, dominant G1 would be it for him, but it's doesn't seem in the cards right now. But let me tell you, I'll tell you this, this was very good. This was a very good match, and I liked it a lot. I thought it was very good, bordering on great. For those of you following my, completely arbitrary rating system at home, which is just adjectives. And then we got the stinker, the only low point of the show. Chase Owens defeated Hikuleo. And, look, I don't know. My notes here, my wrap-up note, because I did write down a few spots, but I don't even feel like going through them, because I find there's much more interesting things to talk about. I wrote down, this is the note I wrote down, the wrap-up note. Things were going so well tonight. But this is, legitimately not a good match. It stunk. Hikuleo's still at 0, and I think that's where he's going to spend his tournament. Quite frankly. Then we got Kaito Kiyomiya versus Shota Umino, which ended in a time limit draw, and it's a slugfest to start this one out. I was excited for this one. This one I had circled. Some good control periods by both guys. Umino with a fisherman's buster. Kiyomiya with a missile drop kick. Drop kick by Umino and a missile drop kick to the back. Shining Wizard by Kiyomiya is avoided and reversed into an STF by Shota Umino. Don't think the former Musketeers, the original Musketeers, fight via proxy. You've got the spirits of Kaiji Muto and Masahiro Chono living vicariously through this match. Kiyomiya comes and starts using dragon screws and starts working Umino's knee, and he gets a figure 4 in at the 15-minute mark, right? 3 minutes pass, and Shota Umino is still in it in a brilliant, but this has all been a brilliant sell job here. Just a fantastic, agonizing moment as Shota crawled his way to the ropes, but Kiyomiya was on top of him, just dragging him back to the middle. And Umino doing everything in his power to not tap, holding on to the ref. Like, just absolutely spectacular stuff. A long, drawn-out segment, but that was dramatic. I don't want it to sound like, maybe I didn't pick my words right here. A long, dramatic segment. And the thing is that Umino never really gets out of the hole. It's Kiyomiya who releases it because he's like, brother, this is going nowhere. This kid is not going to give up, so I got to move on. He does a tiger suplex with bridge. Of course, Umino kicks out. We're into 2 minutes. A jumping knee by Kiyomiya. And a slam kick out by Umino again. We got 1 minute left. He being Kiyomiya goes for the Shining Wizard. It's reversed into a package DDT. And they go time. So Shota Umino still at 2. 2 points that he got out of 2 draws. Things are not looking great for him right now. Although, you could say the same for Ren Narita. But we're going to talk, I'll save the Musketeer analysis. But look at Kaito Kiyomiya now. Still undefeated in this tournament. Got himself a draw. It's a very interesting block. And I called it from the start that this would be the most interesting one. So Kiyomiya is right up there. He's biting at SANADA's heels, but his knees too. He's in a position to be a player till the end. We're not quite ready to soft block people. We're not talking about necessarily scenarios just yet. But you just wait. You just wait when we hit night 7. Now things are going to, even night 6, we might get some form of clarity here. But this was a fantastic match, and both guys worked really hard, and it showed, and it was dramatic, and it was precise. There was no sloppiness. I'm telling you, if you were still on the fence in regards to Shota Umino, which was kind of my case, now's the time to start warming up to him. I think he's been having a great G1 so far. I think he's been abating a lot of the concerns that I had, and I know that a lot of others have as well in regards to his performance and how he conducts himself and so on and so forth. This was very good. And that leads us to the final match of Block A, which also just happened to be the main event. Kazuchika Okada defeated Taichi. Just an absolutely brilliant match. A fantastic match. This is one that will define this G1. We've risen the bar. We rose the bar. It's as if I can't speak anymore. What's going on with me today? Waited too late to put this out. And look, Okada doesn't feel like messing around. He's like a spinning tombstone out of the gate and a spinning rainmaker. Goes for the actual rainmaker, but Taichi ducks. He wallops Okada down. And then Okada starts pulling out, the money clip. And You know, these moves where he's like, look, this is going a little out of control and you are under me, sir. Let's calm your tits, Taichi. That's pretty much what this was. Go to the floor. Okada lands a DDT on the ramp and back into the money clip, back in the ring. Taichi reverses a missile dropkick into a power bomb. Hits a buzzsaw kick, and he is fired up. And let me tell you something. This crowd, throughout this entire show, was into it. This Niigata crowd tonight were into this show. They wanted some great pro wrestling, and they got some, and they were alive. And especially in this match. He's fired up, Taichi, but he runs into a drop kick. He reverses a Rainmaker into a dangerous suplex, lands an axe bomber, then does a dangerous suplex into a bridge. Okada tries the sit down pin, and then we get the Taichi clutch, which I'm pretty sure Red Shoes Umino counted to 3, but he said it's a 2.99999999. I'm pretty sure he counted the full 3. But listen, we get some kicks and more kicks, and Okada does the sit-down pin for the win. So he can't put Taichi properly away. Money clip ain't working. He's tried the Rainmaker a couple of times, not working. So what does he do? He does the sit-down sneaky pin win. This was a tremendous match. Absolutely tremendous, with a scintillating finish. Don't get the impression that just because he sat down to win this match, that the finish wasn't scintillating. And that is the word I will use again. Scintillating. Taichi, a guy who years ago I was sitting around doing, reviews with all my old buddies who are no longer around in the podcasting universe. We're all sitting around and we were doing our G1s. Our G1 previews and whatnot. We were talking about it, and I was saying, what the hell are we doing with Taichi? 40-year-old, or he was pushing 40 anyway at that time. 40-year-old, old bones Taichi. What are we doing with this guy? Perennial mid-carder. Never amount to anything. Responsible for some disaster matches that I watched in New Japan. I remember a never open weight title match against Hiroki Goto, which I thought was a complete disaster. And here we are. Here I am, and I cannot sing his praises high enough. He is going to be one of the MVPs of this tournament. And he somehow has mastered the art of the babyface combat, despite the fact that, is he a babyface? Like he's in this weird tweening, face-leaning thing, right? But in these circumstances, he builds up this sympathy. And his comebacks are excellent. And all that was left for Okada to do in this match to try and get it was to steal it. Sneak by. Because he knows he wasn't going to put Taichi down. It's phenomenal. And then, of course, it underscores the fact that Kazuchika Okada can end you in any way, shape, or form he wants, right? He can just... there's multiple ways this guy can take you out of a tournament. This ruled. It was an excellent pro wrestling match. Again, Taichi. Plus, of course, one of the greatest to ever do it, but I mean, I'm at a point even that I shouldn't even be surprised that Taichi delivers and over-delivers. But it's exciting. It's exciting to talk about. Because this was really good. So, as far as the standings go, SANADA is at the top of the block right now. Uncontested at 6 points. Kaito Kiyomiya with 5. 2 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses. Then we have Chase Owens and Gabe Kidd at 4 points apiece. Ren Narita, Shota Umino, 2 points apiece. Oh wait, I didn't do the main event. Did I confuse this? I did confuse this. I was so excited to talk about Kazuchika Okada and Taichi that I went into block B instead of going into block A. Well, look, let's finish block A then. But that's how excited I was to talk about this match. Just excellent pro wrestling. This is how okay, maybe this is going to be maybe this is a fortune favoring me right now, because we're going to juxtapose two things. Okada and Taichi was the second to last main event show. Was the second to last match of the night. We still had the main event after this, which was SANADA and Tsuji. And I think we have the tale of two matches here, and the tale of four completely different wrestlers. Well, not completely different, but we have the tale of wrestlers here who are all in similar positions, or have been in similar positions, or will be in similar positions, and yet the two matches couldn't be more different. So let's finish up block A, and then we'll run down the standings again. I apologize. I am really jacked up right now. As Coca-Cola and energy. So the main event of block A, the final match on the main event of the show, was SANADA defeating Yota Tsuji. Again, this was the second crack that Tsuji had at SANADA, and Yota Tsuji's first loss since returning from excursion. So this, it starts differently from their previous match where Tsuji is, we're doing some ground game instead of, SANADA trying to figure out what to do with this guy. We're doing some ground game, and we get Tsuji doing the head scissor takedown, and then they fight all the way up the stage, tilt a world backbreaker by Yota Tsuji at the top, and then he carries SANADA back on his shoulders. I don't know if that's an analogy, but then we get, and then in the ring we get the Mount Tsuji spot, drop kicks by SANADA and a pescado. Yota Tsuji fights back. He gets a stinger splash and a dive as well. Then Tsuji locks in a skull end. We got 5 minutes left. He goes for the moonsault as well and hits it. This crowd at this point has become entirely supportive of Yota Tsuji. At first when they do, you have the bell and then you have Umino going, oh, this and that. And, Umino was sort of saying, well, it's kind of even where, it's this close. And I'm like, sure. But by the end of this match, this crowd is not cheering for their world champion. Skull end by SANADA. There's a Gori Especial that's turned into a Poison Rana. Shining Wizard by SANADA follows. Deadfall. No! See, I got you there. Tsuji does the cartwheel escape again, which is awesome. And he knocks SANADA down. Curb stomp. We're 2 minutes in. I'm convinced that he's going to do it, but no. SANADA lands the moonsault, then the deadfall. And he gets his 6 points. So, I'm going to try and organize my thoughts properly here. We don't want this review to get any messier than it already is. Jesus Christ. So, first of all, like I said, this was the tale of two. Look, you have SANADA and Kazuchika Okada, right? One is the current world champion. The other guy is, the guy one of the guys that you immediately identify as a world champion, right? Okada has been in SANADA's position multiple times. And you see SANADA in the second to last match just tear the fucking house down with Taichi. Just to get 2 points. Here, yes, we're going for 2 points, but you're also the champion. Why isn't the building trembling? Why isn't the entire audience cheering for you, SANADA? And there's a thing here, and earlier today, Jesse Collins, the fellow Voices of Wrestling contributor, and also at WrestleNomics in the Voices of Wrestling chat, spelled out a line, which I decided that I'm going to use in this review. Wholesale. I'm stealing it wholesale from you, Jesse. Follow Jesse and the Gentleman's Wrestling Podcast. He says, about this match, Tsuji outshining SANADA's Randy Orton ass in the main. And I'm like, this is exactly it. He nailed it. That is exactly what SANADA is. SANADA currently right now, is a guy that is dry. He's a talented wrestler, that lacks, natural charisma, but can work a solid match, but lacks pizzazz, lacks the energy, lacks the showmanship to truly make his matches great. He's dry, like Orton is. And this is a guy that also at the same time, there are tons of people out there trying to convince people like me that SANADA works. No. They were chanting his name. SANADA, Yota, that kind of sounds alike. No. Stop it. Stop. We have to. So, just as much as people, try to convince me, Randy Orton's one of the greatest of all time, one of the greatest to ever do it. He's the GOAT. Okay. All right, then. Like, I can't buy into it. And whatever's happening with SANADA is not working. And bless New Japan for trying out something, giving it a go, but clearly this is not working. I'm at a point that I am convinced that SANADA is not hanging on to his title by the time we get to Wrestle Kingdom. I think he's dropping it along the way. I wouldn't have any faith in putting this guy in the main event at the Dome and expecting people to run in and buy tickets to see him in the main event. This is not working. And he's in the main event, and he's the world champion, and he's delivering a very flat match of 3.5, which was carried by the charisma and natural athleticism of his opponent. Tsuji made this match feel special. All of his spots look special. They feel special. Why? Because the kid is special. And we know New Japan thinks he's special. Because they wouldn't be booking him the way they did upon return of Excursion. He's been losing matches where, hang on, this tournament's not done yet. Then let's talk about it. Like right now, Tsuji is 1 point behind his Musketeer brethren. What are we doing here? We're calling these guys the future, but yet they all stink? No, that's not the story we're telling at all. I don't think so. I would not be surprised if at this point they all go on streaks. And I think Narita might be the first guy to beat another Musketeer. I think this would be some compelling storytelling. I think he might be the first guy to do it. Because right now, they're all still very close and they're mirroring each other. I don't think this is perchance, this is by design. And, if you were to ask me right now, well, who would you have stand out of this pack in this G1 between the Musketeers, Warren? It's Narita. It still hasn't budged because I think Narita is the guy who can benefit the most. Umino's going to be okay. And Yota Tsuji he's going to be absolutely fine. He's going to be super extra fine. Don't worry about it. But it's still very interesting. They're finding their footing. And they're finding their footing throughout this G1. The G1 is sometimes, for some wrestlers, it's about tribulations. And finding your fighting spirit. throughout this tournament. I think this is what we're doing here. As opposed to SANADA, who is just finding, more ways to just fill a match with platitudes. And you'd think he would have turned it up as world champion, but he really hasn't. He really hasn't. So now we talk about Block A. SANADA at 6, Kiyomiya at 5, Chase Owens, Gabriel Kidd at 4, Ren Narita, Shota, Umino at 2 apiece, Yota Tsuji at 1, and Hikuleo still with the goose egg, and I think that's going to be his home for the tournament. And now, unless I mess this up further, let's talk about Block B. We've already talked about the top match of the block of night 5, but hey, what else happened, Warren? Gee, Willikers, I'm glad you asked. Hopefully I'll get my shit straight. YOSHI-HASHI defeated Tanga Loa. Well, it's too late because I've already talked about YOSHI-HASHI and Tanga Loa, right? See, look, this whole one has no structure. It's a mess, but it's the G1, so I'm trying to make excuses for myself. Please believe me. So look, okay, hang on. We've talked about YOSHI-HASHI and Tanga Loa, Gabe Kidd and Ren Narita. We'd be up to Block B, Great-O-Khan, and El Phantasmo. I thought this was very good. ELP is aggressive in the early part of this match, and so is Great-O-Khan. And Great-O-Khan, as this match goes on, is showing more and more life, more of the big beast that we know him to be. And he beats up El Phantasmo for a good part of the match. He grapples him down, focuses on the neck. And then the only way El Phantasmo has to fight back is to purple nurple him. But, as you know, Great-O-Khan is a very horny individual. I mean, if this is news to you, you have not been following him on social media. But it is, he is quite open about his exploits, his proclivities. So it should come to no surprise that the purple nurple, as applied by ELP, had the opposite effect of what was expected. In fact, the Great-O-Khan took great pleasure in having his nipples twisted to the point that he seems to have achieved his own G1 climax during this match. Thank you very much. I've been waiting for a while to break that gem out. So, he even, I don't know if he suckles or if he bites onto ELP's own nipple to fight back. I'd rather not spend too much brain power on that. But listen, they go to the outside. Great-O-Khan gets thrown over the guardrail into the audience. So ELP goes all the way back into the ring and does a Thunder Kiss 86 from the top all the way over the guardrail into the audience, which is just a fantastic spot. He lands a springboard swanton lion salt combo. STO by Great-O-Khan, but it's the sheep killer ultimately that puts ELP away. So Great-O-Khan gets on the board. ELP still has nothing. This was a good, strong effort. Like outside, look, we had some ELP shenanigans, which is fine, but it didn't overtake the match. It didn't overcome everything. Didn't go overboard. Great life by Great-O-Khan here. Am I missing anything? What else should we only have, this is the last match I have to talk about, right? Because I've done so many B block matches now, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. There's reasonable doubt in my mind that we've talked about YOSHI-HASHI and Tanga Loa, but I feel we did. I think I was just stupid and I started off with that. Right? No, but we did. I talked about YOSHI-HASHI getting a good one out of Tanga Loa. And then we had, speaking about getting a good one out of someone, Will Ospreay defeated KENTA, and he got a good match out of KENTA. And, there was a fair amount of shtick here, but if you're going to work Will Ospreay is, he's got a certain speed that he works at. And KENTA, well, he was made to keep up with it. Look, It's not the greatest, most exciting, fantastic Kenta match of all time. There's, that prime is past. But this is, without question, the best Kenta match I've seen in months. Not just this G1, in months. So, proof positive that when it's time for Kenta to show up and be the guy, he can still show up. He just chooses the rest of the evenings, or whoever he's facing, to just go, But anyway, he's in the ring with Will Ospreay. So there's shtick, there's low blows and kendo sticks and title belts and all that stuff. But we still get Kenta working. He's got, he's doing the corner drop kicks. He's doing the double stomp. And there's a sequence in this match when they're striking each other when I'm like, I saw the old Kenta. I was like, I saw a glimpse of him. I was like, there you go. Because they're just wailing on each other. And Kenta's just like, he's just fucking him up. This was good. He eats a Liger Bomb on top of that, and he's bumping. He throws a Busaiku knee, kick, hidden blade, and a Stormbreaker for the win. So Ospreay gets another 2 points. Look, leave it to Will. I mean, Will was fantastic, but so was Kenta. This worked. This was a very, very good match. One that I was surprised and enthralled about because Kenta's been such a snoozer. But Will dragged one out of him. Kenta was like, look, it's Will Ospreay. Let's go. This was very, very good. Now, is he going to do this every night? Probably not. I don't think we should expect this to become a constant. But Will adapted nonetheless. Like, he wasn't going full speed or full strength, but he sold, he gave a lot, but so did Kenta. And Kenta was able to keep up with Will in one of the faster paced matches that Kenta has had. Like I said, not only in this G1, in months. So Block B finishes Night 5 with Kazuchika Okada at 6 points, Taichi at 4, along with YOSHI-HASHI and Will Ospreay. Tanga Loa, Kenta, Great Okan at 2 points. And El Phantasmo still with the goose egg. I'm a little surprised. But now starting on Night 7, that is the time to start your come from behind streaks. This is where it should start. Recommendations? Listen, I'm glad you asked. I believe that everyone should take the time out of their day to watch Kazuchika Okada versus Taichi. I think that was fantastic. I think Shota Umino versus Kenta Kiyomiya is a great use of 20 minutes as well. That match was really, really good. And I will even recommend Narita versus Gabe Kim. I think those were 3 outstanding matches in the out of the entire show. I think you should take the time to go watch all 3 of those. But you know what? It's another one here where you it's another one here where if you sit down and you're like, look, I want to watch the whole thing, go right ahead. This was a great night. Like, I'd recommend, first and foremost, watching the whole thing. Skip Chase Owens and Hikuleo. Just watch the whole thing. I put down SANADA quite a bit, but, Tsuji made that match really exciting. So, it's like, you cannot fail out on this night, on blocks A and B on Night 5. It was really, really good. It was really something good. Best night of the G1 so far. And I would even go as far as to say that Okada and Taichi is your new match of the tournament. I think we do have a new bar here to raise. Just fantastic stuff. We're getting a solid G1. We had a couple of missteps, but I think the last couple of nights have been remarkable. Hopefully, July 23, which is night night 6 of the G1. Hopefully that will be remarkable as well. On the C block side of things, we're going to have Tama Tonga versus Mikey Nichols. Could sneakily be really good considering the G1 that Nichols is having. This is one that I would have hand waved, but I'm kind of into it now. I'm kind of okay. Henare versus Eddie Kingston. Let's fucking go. I can't wait for that. Now, with whatever is inhabiting Henare right now, that's going to bring the violence out of Eddie Kingston. I'm really excited for this. Tomohiro Ishii versus Shingo Takagi. Who cannot be excited for that? You don't have a pulse if you're not. And finally, David Finlay versus Evil, which is in the main event spot right now on the card. It could change. Probably not. It's a little weird. And us, Bullet Club freakazoids are very excited to see if anything's going to happen with Dave Finlay's Bullet Club and the House of Torture subgroup. Outside of that, I don't know why they're finishing with that one. As for the D block side, we're having Zack Sabre Jr. versus Alex Coughlin. Hiroki Goto taking on Shane Haste. I don't have high hopes for that one. Toru Yano versus Tetsuya Naito. Shtick. And Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Jeff Cobb. Tanahashi's going to try and do everything he can to have a spectacular finish here. To have just a good G1. And Cobb just might be on a roll. So we'll see. This is going to be one of these. It's going to be one of these matches, Hiroshi Tanahashi and Jeff Cobb, that is going to sort of help set the pace here. Because if Cobb wins, then he's going to be a factor towards the end. If Tanahashi wins, well, things level out quite a bit. And I did say that the D block was going to be the block that would most closely resemble, and I believe it was D block last year. Was it C block? The one block where everyone was super competitive right till the very end. There wasn't like one runaway top guy. Everyone was like following each other to the very, very, very end. So we could be setting this up as well. I feel we'll be able to start talking about soft blocks very soon. Because we're on our way there. And I'm on my way to wishing you a great rest of your day. I want to thank you all for joining me and jumping right in and listening to these. If you liked it, of course, leave a like. If you're watching this on YouTube, and subscribes, ratings, reviews, all that stuff, I'll let you handle it. I will be back on the 23rd, therefore, this Sunday for my review of night 6. I promise it will not be so scattered as this one was. Hope you all have a great time, and I'll see you next time.